Hello, wastelanders and adventurers and other forms of gamer. I am Caedo Genesis, and this is the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, where we talk about gaming news and Fallout, and we have a dedicated Fallout topic or related topic that we like to talk about. I'm joined by two co-hosts. Finally, we're all together again. BADCompanySarge.
Howdy.
And Jared of Jared Gaming.
Cheerio.
And we're all here and ready to discuss the ridiculous amount of stuff that has happened in the realm of gaming. So we do have timestamps on screen and links below for the sources of our stories and stuff. And I can't... we're going to be talking about New Vegas 2 as an idea as our Fallout topic. It's going to be probably a pretty meaty one. And I know a lot of you probably have your perfect vision of what New Vegas 2 would be, or at least an idea. So we're looking forward to having that discussion and the comments that ensue. But we got to start with our tip of the day. Isn't that right, Jared?
I can't believe this is actually the tip of the day, but make sure y'all check out the Dumbo octopus.
Yeah.
As that is a real animal. And I'm pretty sure it's also a Pokemon IRL.
It had to have inspired one or something.
I'm sure it has.
Like maybe somebody can chime in in the comments.
They don't even understand the context behind why we're talking about the Dumbo octopus.
Yeah. Maybe you should give them context.
No context.
No
context.
At this point, I think we're like 50-50 on tips of the day actually having anything to do with like gaming or being actual tips.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
I think we embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, just check out the Dumbo octopus. You will be happy.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
So also, speaking of things you want to comment about, we have a comment of the cast from Jaina. You want to read it, Sarge?
No. Been replaying Resident Evil 5 and Borderlands 3, and been thinking what else I should play.
Oh. Speaking of Borderlands 3, right, Sarge?
Yeah, I'm trying to organize not Borderlands 3 streams. So I've got in contact with the two people that are here right now, Caedo and Jared, and also another YouTube, Twitch streamer person called Crazy Eyed Eddie, and I'm seeing if we could all play some Borderlands Game of the Year Enhanced Edition as like co-streaming thing at some point. So stay tuned, and that could happen.
Nice to go back. Was it semi-annually, biannually, tri-annually?
I don't know. I mean,
to the first Borderlands game.
Yeah, I kind of cycle through them at this point. I play something Borderlands every single year. And it was 2019 that I played Game of the Year last.
Wow.
Yeah, every couple of years.
Well, do we have any suggestions for, I'm sure people in the comments would too, for Jaina's question on what else to play, possibly? I would just say Hades, because I know Jaina liked watching me play Hades, so.
Good choice. I guess I could say that you could play the best game of the year, Cyberpunk. No, I won't even go there. Well, I can say that if you're looking for something new, and it's something that I'm going to be talking about when we get to what we're playing and stuff. But I've been checking out The Medium, because if you like creepy horror type stuff, it's pretty cool. It's a good one to try.
I'm guessing everything in what we're playing are good recommendations for games. So you'll have to listen to the end if you want to know our recommendations.
Yeah, way to keep people hooked, Sarge.
Whoa.
Or they can just scan to that part of the video.
No, they're gonna listen to the entire thing.
Chapter points too, so you just be like, yeah, I want to go to the topic, and you just zoom right to the topic if you want.
Which means they're not even listening to us now.
Yeah, right?
They've already left, dude.
They're already gone.
We've lost them already.
That's what happened. Just in time for the brand deal. This podcast is brought to you by me.
Nice.
Like that's never been done. And my patrons, my super awesome patrons. Jaina has been one of them in the past, as well as Wasteland Legends Fen and many other wonderful individuals. You get to see my face if you become a patron. That's pretty cool. It's all downhill from there, though.
Well,
all right, let's get into the news.
Yeah.
Might as well. So Xbox had a fun hop, skip, and a jump forward and back.
Yeah.
That was cool. So nothing's gonna change for Xbox Live users, basically.
Yeah.
But
it
there was
almost
a
did.
price. It almost did. But there was an uproar, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
Xbox Live was going to have a price increase. I think it was going to be, yearly cost for Live Gold would have been $120 instead of $60.
Yeah.
Dang.
Everybody noticed. And they were like, what are you doing? And then Xbox is like, okay. All right. What a lot of people think is happening, at least like Richard Vutek is who I like to watch for this kind of nonsensical drama, is that they were trying to just push more people towards the Game Pass, because the Game Pass is still the best deal when it comes to game services.
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to get rid of Xbox Live, because right now it kind of does make a redundancy on their consoles.
Yeah.
If you have not just the same, but better, a better library too.
Yeah. Well, I've upgraded to Game Pass recently, and I think because there's like 3 months for £1 or $1 or whatever, this year's going to cost me about the same as Xbox Live does anyway.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they do just want to completely convert it.
Yeah. I just think that's such a weird approach, but you know, people like throwing around the term anti-consumer, and it is definitely that. It's not quite the right way to do it. Get somebody to leave by or switch to another plan, like in your environment, by jacking up the price by double. It's I think they're probably just gonna go somewhere else. I don't know. In a perfect world, I guess.
It sounds like a conspiracy.
Yeah, there's a lot of those floating around too, right?
Too many.
Yeah.
At least this news story had a happy ending of, nothing happened.
Yeah, pretty much. It almost happened, but then it didn't.
Yay!
Go gamers.
Positive news we can look forward to this year.
Nothing.
I'm honestly okay with that.
Yeah.
Do you know a game that has had stuff actually happen, though?
Oh! A bad game.
Oh.
Yeah, garbage Trashfire 76. Pah.
A notoriously ill-received game.
Yeah, what are they doing constantly improving this game over the course of several years to make it so that it's actually quite fun and easy to play and just better? Pah. God, don't we hate Bethesda for that?
Yep, I
All
know
these
I
free
do.
updates. Screw them.
So what's the update, Sarge?
So the big thing in the update is stash limit, which is like your storage box container thing, is now up to 1,200, where it was previously 800, and I'm pretty sure we started on 200.
We started on 400.
Oh,
but
did
yeah,
we start on 400? I thought it was 200 we had.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was 400. Now you're making me second guess myself.
I'm actually going to try and check this now. Because I feel like it was 200 for like the beta or just like a really short period of time. No, okay, this is terrible.
Do I have to go and look at one of my archives of the beta streams?
I think that's what I'm going to have to do now. Because trying to Google it does not work.
Oh, if I just type in beta.
Oh, wow. My Fallout 76 beta first look video got 279 views.
Yeah, 400.
That was... Man, people were not wanting to click on those at the start.
400 in the beta.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, at least
I
it's
scanned to
triple
the
now.
right spot on the video. I was actually surprised I found it so fast.
I'm not even sure I found a stash box on my beta video looking at this. Just running around with a machete. But yeah, the stash increase is like the first big thing. And that is just very good.
Yeah, very. Because it's been, how many years now? 2? 3?
Like 2.5. Came out 2018 November. So yeah.
Yeah.
2.5 years pretty much. And
About
we've got another
frickin'
stash
time.
increase. They've also updated like the Pip-Boy menu.
Yes.
So there's apparel and armor are now separate. Food and drink is now separate from other aid items. And they've added in a new category, like as in it's called new, and just shows you stuff you picked up recently.
Yeah. And the how recently. It has like a timestamp
Yeah.
or amount of minutes. Like, I was actually surprised that they went that far.
That's good.
I thought it was just going to be like chronological listing, but no, they decided to put a time on it too, which was cool.
There's like a bunch of other little tweaks. They've done a like colorblind update for build mode. They've made it so vendor icons show you 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star legendaries if they're at someone's camp. They've changed like the weight thing to make it a bit clearer. They just made the game better, which is nice.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed when I came back was the just all the crafting menus working without major hitching when you try to build or repair something.
Yeah.
Which is just real nice.
Yeah.
I like quality of life stuff.
They are very much just making the game better and fixing the problems, which is good. It also means that oftentimes when you hear people talking about 76 now, and they're referring to things that, well, from like the beta or stuff, it's no longer relevant, because it's now been sorted and the game's different, which is nice.
So, this is for all the 76 haters, besides us. Make sure that what you're hating on is still in the game.
Yeah. Although, to be clear, you're allowed to hate that it was a bad launch. Like,
oh yeah,
that's fine. But you also have to hate New Vegas if that's the case. Because that's just how it goes. Literally unplayable at launch. I mean, 76 was almost entirely unplayable. Therefore, it's better.
Wow.
Oh, I just want people to hate me. I'm sorry.
I wanna see how many hot takes, because we're only on like 2 and 3 in the news. So let's see how many. I missed you, Sarge. So there was other 76 stuff too that happened, right?
Well, not yet.
That's being shown.
Yeah, they're planning on adding in stuff, and something that Caedo's going to be real happy about: melee attack improvements. Melee attack should work better and actually hit reliably. Wow!
Yeah.
2.5 years later, and your machete will actually hit the enemy you swung at. Nice.
When your DPS is actually just 40% of that.
Oh, yeah. But they're adding in aim assist as well for like. It says to help players who use controllers. Every single person I saw commenting on this ignored the whole controller thing and was like, "Why are they adding aim assist on PC?" And it's literally just
for controllers. That's what.
Yeah,
that's a
might
feature for
work
controllers.
On mouse and keyboard. Who knows? Maybe they'll do something weird with it. But they literally do state in the first of the 2 sentences you have to read to learn all about it. But it's for controllers.
Yeah.
We're adding in batch crafting, so you can craft things in bulk, which makes sense.
Yay!
Adding in some new daily ops, which will be fun.
I was going to say, I wonder how that works with Super Duper, though. Or if it will at all.
I hope it still procs per each one.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they make it well like that, it'd be great. But yeah. Then daily ops is getting new stuff. Camp slots is something I don't fully get entirely how they're going to do, but it sounds like you can build multiple camps but only have one active and in the world at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what that's like. The thing most people are excited about and also angry about is special loadouts. So they're doing like a perk loadout thing, but where you can also change your special stats within different loadouts. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of cool. And starting at level 25, you gain access to the loadouts, and you get 2 of them, like, just as, and you can change all your special points and all your perks for free whenever you're in your camp, which is nice. But they do also say, initially players will gain access to 2 special loadouts per character, and we're exploring additional ways to unlock more loadouts in the future, such as through the Atom Shop.
Yep. There it is.
That's the bad part of this update. Like, it's not something that's in the game yet, but they might be like, hey, you want some extra loadouts? Just pay us some cash and we can get that sorted for you. Which...
Yeah. I complain about the monetization in 76 all the time. I don't think I need to.
I don't think anyone's a fan of it. But
no.
They do throw a lot of stuff in the Atom Shop. They've got more practical things in there recently, which isn't great.
Yesterday I was saying they were going to add something that recently was a reward in the scoreboard. I can't remember what I said it was, though.
I don't know. I've stopped paying attention to the scoreboard.
Oh, the premium bubblegum. That's going to be added to the Atom Shop.
Oh, yeah.
That's the next one I'm calling.
Yeah. Give it a month.
They took away the downsides though too, so they're lessening the blow. I wonder if that was their long-term plan. Oh my god, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat now.
Yeah, that's a tinfoil hat thing. I think it was very much like people just play this as a very casual game, and Bethesda have had to kind of change it to make the game more casual as time has gone by.
Casuals.
Yep, we're all casuals. It turns out the people playing 76 are people who just want to chill and have fun. Otherwise known as losers.
I don't believe it.
Kind of seems the way of, like, call it a massive multiplayer game, but it seems like most games that are massively multiplayer games start off more hardcore and start to go towards casual over time. Seems to be kind of a common trend.
I'm sure it has to do with just audience too, because Fortnite, it was the other way around.
Fortnite?
What's
that? No.
The Save the World mode, the original game mode that was supposed to take off, became secondary, and now it's basically dead. And Battle Royale, the competitive mode, became, well, what we all know as the biggest Battle Royale in existence. So, it's crazy.
Fair enough. Although I don't know if I count like games like Fortnite and like PUBG.
Fortnite doesn't count.
I don't really count those as like massive multiplayer. I mean, they are obviously pretty massive and they are multiplayer. But I think of like World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Guild Wars, Fallout 76.
Yeah.
But whatever, tomato, tomato. I mean, one person's one thing is another person's other thing, so.
Oh my goodness. You see...
What?
Did you see the Uber Eats commercial?
No.
With the tomato thing?
No.
With,
Should I?
Sir Patrick Stewart and Mark Hamill.
Oh, no. No.
It's so good.
I remember hearing about it, but I never saw it, and man, I'm going to have to watch it.
There's multiples.
I like both those dudes. That's a combination of nerddoms. That's Star Trek and Star Wars right there, man.
Yeah, I think they need to make a show of any kind.
Yeah.
Or movie or whatever. Just make something. Make some internet shorts.
That would be awesome, man.
Sorry to derail the whole 76 conversation. They're both treasures, and they should be treasured. Not 76. The two actors I was talking about. Sarge, was anything else inside the vault that you wanted to...
Nope.
Expose?
No, that was literally all of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. Not good because I don't want to hear it, but good because I was worried that maybe I interrupted and then derailed when there was important information. But if you got through it, then I feel a little bit better.
Are you kidding me? None of this is important.
You're right.
None of the news topics. The PIPCAST itself is pretty important to me because I like hanging out with you guys. But...
And we're all important. Like, each one of ours independent, respective online presence is very important.
Yes. Sarge, don't you dare disagree.
I'm just being quiet.
Anyway, speaking of cool things happening in the community,
yes.
Besides us just tooting our own horns, the Skyblivion mod, which is Oblivion totally converted into Skyrim's engine, is getting pretty darn close to complete and playable by the public. I think it's still a few months out, if not a year or more. I know those are a lot of fluctuating amounts of time that I just mentioned, but I didn't look that closely into their estimates. But what they have to show, we have a trailer linked down below that has some, like a quest preview, and it's a dev update, basically. So they're showing off environments and assets and all kinds of stuff. The only thing that worried me is that when they were showing the quest preview, that the NPC was using original dialogue, and I'm pretty sure that's what caused the problems with the Fallout 3 playthrough. I don't know if they edited that into the video itself or it was part of the mod. So,
well, is it the dialogue that is the problem, or would it have been the original like voice acting?
Well, okay, so since we were just talking about Sir Patrick Stewart, man, that should have been a segue. Gosh dang it!
Oh wow.
It's his voice was licensed to Bethesda to use in Oblivion.
Right.
If somebody else used that for a project of this scale, I don't know how that would go over.
Oh, I guarantee you Bethesda would kibosh that.
Yeah, like they did with Fallout 3. Because I'm kind of wondering if it was like Eric Todd Dellum's presence in Fallout 3 that was part of it. While they do have their in-house voice actors and stuff like that, or people that they use fairly often, their Nick Valentine voice actor comes to mind. I forget his name. I apologize. But I just worry when assets are reused, voice assets are reused, that there might be some cause for concern later on.
Right.
Because I don't want to see a mod of this scale get taken down for that reason. Right. Or just like stopped dead because they've been working on it for a long time.
I have a feeling that if it was Patrick Stewart's voice in the trailer, it was just a placeholder. And if nothing else, I would think that they would, at the very least, just get someone who can imitate, because they can get someone to imitate and it would still be okay. Like, you could get someone who could imitate Patrick Stewart exactly. And as long as Patrick Stewart's not in there and they credit the voice actor, then they should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm worried about. Like, that they're not going to do that.
I think they will, because we've seen this happen. I mean, it's one of the reasons why, because I've been following like Skyblivion and even more so Skywind, and one of the things that they are having to do is do everything from scratch because of that. They already know that is something that must be taken into consideration. So I don't think that they're just going to ignore it now at the end. They'd be really stupid if they did. Yeah. Because they already know that they can't do that.
Yeah. But like I said, the Quest NPC that's in the video, it's very clearly like imported from either Oblivion itself or just like Oblivion footage from something and just edited into the video.
Right.
And I don't think that's going to be... I hope that's not in the final version of the mod.
Yeah.
For the developers or the mod authors' sake.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Because it'll get taken away.
But this should be celebratory too, because it looks freaking awesome.
I'm definitely stoked. You know, I really liked Oblivion originally, so I'd be more than happy to return to it with all the updates and stuff and that Skyrim brought to the table. So, gosh, it feels like it's been forever waiting for this.
Yep, that's overhaul mods.
Yeah, I know.
That's how it is. Also just hoping that like during the long process of these undertakings that the official like publishers and developers aren't making their own remaster in the process.
Right.
Because like I'm sure that's something that's makes them existential.
Right.
Or maybe motivates a little bit out of fear of
putting all
they already did it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Yeah, that would be a pretty horrible feeling. Put in, gosh, a decade.
Yeah.
Amount of work just to have the original publisher just be like, oh, we already made one. Here it is. Bam.
I should also draw attention to mods that are like unofficial patches and fixes and stuff like that too. Like around that same area.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't like how the community just assumes that mod authors are just going to be like, no, I'll just fix the game. Because that's not, I don't think any mod author really, I'm not trying to speak for them, but I don't think anybody would be like, I want to fix this broken game, and that's going to be my only thing that I'm going to do, even though the developers should have done it themselves. I don't think that's their approach.
No.
But at the same time, in the case of things like, man, it's turning into a rant. In the case of things like Cyberpunk 2077, where I could have mentioned that too. Like their modding tools, not their toolkit. Some of their modding tools are now available for like unpacking and packing assets and stuff like that. Really, really bare bones stuff. Not what you would expect from things like the GEC and the Creation Kit. That like all of these people like in comment threads on Reddit and stuff like that are just like, well, now the modders are going to fix the game. Like, that's the automatic assumption, and I hate it.
Yeah. It's the new norm that shouldn't be the new norm. We should never have had to rely on modders to fix the problems that these...
I'd say as well that the fixes, I feel, should be quotation marks too. Because it's not like every, the unofficial patch or whatever. I might be slightly wrong here, but I feel like it's the Skyrim, like, main unofficial patch, which also does, like, a few weird things thrown in too. Like, it just throws a bonus copy of the Archmage robes that you can just walk up to a table and pick up without going through the Mage's College quest, and just a few weird things like that. And I feel like a bit too often... patch mods are just kind of
liberties
like,
are taken.
Yeah. And here's the thing, they're perfectly allowed to do that, and that's fine to have it in the mod, but when players start being like, well, this is how the game was supposed to be, with all of these extra items added in for some reason, who knows?
There's a reason why I was saying, like, I don't want to speak for modders, but I feel like I can understand what that kind of pressure is like, and it's stupid that the community thinks that, you know, it's a modder's job to fix a developer/publisher's broken game. And in the case of Cyberpunk, they got a lot of fixing to do, and I highly doubt, I mean, even looking at the wiki, that's a different set of work, but it's barely being worked on. There's not much investment by the community besides memes.
There's plenty of those.
And talking about Panam's booty and Judy's booty. Like, I feel like we should have more different confidences in modders in what they bring to the table, which is new content, not fixing what should have been working.
Right. I think that exists. I mean, I've played some incredible mods that is just like mind-blowing, that, you know, you have to kind of step back and be like, you know, these are just normal people like you and me. I mean, so are the people that work for the company and whatnot that make these originally and stuff, but I mean, like, it's different expectations, I think, for a modder who could just be a kid and living in his folks, you know, and knows how to mod.
Yep.
I think it does exist that people know that they're capable of doing more than just patchwork. I think they've proven it time and time again. But I also agree with you that it shouldn't be taken for granted.
It's just assumed. Like, I just, that's the part that I don't like about it.
Right. No,
is the community's just like, yep, modders have the tools now. Let's get it fixed, kind of thing.
I'm sure the same modders that come up with the unofficial patches and other stuff like that, I'm sure they'd like to work on their own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they've got creativity or creative ideas, and, you know, maybe, again, I don't want to speak for them either, but I'm sure they would much rather work on something interesting and creative instead of just fixing things because it's expected of them from the community.
Yeah. I just worry about, like, I use Cyberpunk as an example because, well, for how new it is, like, there's a lot of fixing that does need to be done, and I don't want modders to, like, be wasting their time trying to fix something where the developers already got a fix kind of in place,
right?
Kind of thing. Like, I always worry about that because overlap is the worst. Like we were just talking about with the giant overhaul mods in the extreme example, like, if there was a remaster coming out and nobody knew about it, and then right before Skyblivion comes out, then there's the Oblivion remaster, you're like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that is always there, because it's the prerogative of the game developer whether or not to release that information if they do have it, and it's the freedom of the mod developer who's creating the overhaul to work on whatever they're working on, and they don't necessarily need to communicate with each other. There's nothing that says that they have to. So, I mean, I think that threat is always there. Just hope it doesn't happen for the modders' sake, because they put so much work of their own time unpaid.
This is volunteered time.
Yeah.
Volunteered because they love the game.
Yeah.
Man, that did turn into a rant. If any modders are in the listeners and you want to weigh in, please do.
Yeah.
I've had only so many interactions with mod authors and creators and stuff like that, and like some of them are super jaded and they're like, oh, I have to fix all of this, but I can't imagine living that way. And others are just like, I'm just making really cool assets that are like 10 times 20 times the detail of how they were in vanilla. If you want your armor to sparkle, I'm gonna make some sparkle. Like and they are proud of that sparkle too, and more power to them. But yeah, it definitely just flew off the handles for for the topic. I'm sorry.
No, this is about discussion, man.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, check out Skyblivion. Is what I'm saying, and support it where you can too. I think they do have applications up for. They're looking for volunteers, basically.
Yeah, they have open positions for just about everything, and not just Skyblivion, but Skywind and everything else that they're working on, from like illustrators to people who can code to voice acting, which I even applied for. I didn't get, but there's all that's available, and they have Discords and stuff like that people can get on and get involved. Because it's all community built. And they like I said before, they pretty much have to create this stuff from the ground up, because they can't use any of the original assets because Bethesda won't let them.
Right.
So there's a lot of work that has been done. There's a lot of work to be done. So if you got the skills, maybe give them a hand. I don't know. If I had the skills to like code or make cool concept art or something, I totally would.
Yeah. Well, maybe Dakuba listens passively too, one of my moderators, and he is also a programmer, so maybe he could weigh in on some of this too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some of that.
That'd be
Dakuba. Cool. Tell us why we're wrong, please.
Please.
Dad. He's my server's dad. Next up for topics, I mean, we were already talking about Cyberpunk breaking stuff.
Yeah,
it broke stuff and then it fixed the broken stuff. Maybe.
Tentatively.
So Cyberpunk came out with a fix for the main 1.1 patch. Had to do with one of the main quests involving Takamura, called Down on the Street, if anybody here listening has played Cyberpunk, where he wouldn't contact you the way he's supposed to, and it would just stop the quest in its tracks and you wouldn't be able to progress. So it still was happening after the patch, even though that's what it was supposed to fix. And then I want to say a couple of days later, they hotfixed that patch. So let's see, the 25th of January, it came out, maybe ish, and then 28th of January is when the hotfix came out for it. So like 3 days difference. Yay. But as far as I know, I haven't seen much complaining about it. I look at the Cyberpunk subreddit every so often, mainly for the memes, because there's lots of memes and lots of silly glitch clips, but I haven't seen much complaining about any problems with Takamura's interactions. So I think it's fixed. Yay.
One down, many more to go, probably.
Hundreds and hundreds. So cool. Well, we spent a lot of time talking about Cyberpunk the last couple of episodes, so we should move on to a brand new game in a series.
A brand new obsession, even for some people.
A brand new obsession for gamers, those thirsty gamers. What's the thing, Jared?
Oh, well, unless you've been hiding under that internet rock, you're probably aware of the newest, like you said, thirsty thing to come out of the internet, and that is the Resident Evil Village demo that is out there, and more specifically, I don't even know her name. If anyone knows, I have no idea. But we're talking about the big giant vampire lady that everyone wants her to step on them or whatever. I don't know much more than that. Again, I haven't played the demo myself, but yeah, there's Resident Evil Village, and there's a big vampire lady, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Tall lady.
yeah, very tall.
That's all it takes. It's literally all it takes.
Apparently, that is all it takes.
A tall lady.
A tall lady to overpower all the men of the internet, and maybe the ladies of the internet too. You know,
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've seen comments here and there.
It just seems to be working with everyone.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what much more to say about it other than the fact that it's just become like the next internet sensation for the time being.
obsession,
Yeah.
Yeah.
more like immersion.
Oh.
Yeah. So as I was saying before we recorded, I was like, we should start recording right now since we were talking about it. It's like it goes in cycles where the gaming community as a whole has its varying obsessions,
Yeah.
especially with women characters. And this, I'm just figuring that this is the next one, kind of thing.
Oh, it is.
Because it's despite her paleness and likely some sort of mutation,
She's got
because it's Resident Evil.
She's got some really sharp, like bladed finger thing going on. I've seen that.
It's
Yeah.
almost like the Freddy Krueger glove.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. In spite of that, she's an attractive lady. So there's just going to be a major thirst factor until the next one comes around.
Yeah.
And Capcom goes nuts with whatever characters they design anyway. So
That is true.
I am honestly not too surprised playing games like, Devil May Cry. Everything's over the top. All the characters are over the top. Designs naked sometimes. Like it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I think like over the top though, I also think Bayonetta. Platinum Games. Yeah. They're like cousins. I feel like they're just cousins that are trying to outdo each other in their insanity when it comes to their games.
That game takes it though. I think Bayonetta. Like I've never played it honestly, and that's the God's honest truth. Not for any reason or the other, just never played it. But I've seen people playing it. It's like it's so completely outrageous.
Her legs are as tall as my door.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like you said. I think you said it before we started recording. It's like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
When they make these
They know
characters.
exactly. Man, the trailer. Yeah. Watch where the camera goes. I'm just telling everybody right now. Watch where the camera goes in the trailer. You know it's Capcom. You know what they're doing, and it's working.
Yep. Oh, is it? And I've seen like big time YouTubers. Like, can I say the S word?
What?
Can I say the S word?
Sure.
The big YouTubers are simping over this chick.
It's not against YouTube's terms.
But I didn't know if it was against yours though, man.
No, it's fine. I don't
'Cause
care.
I respect you more than I do YouTube or any
Oh,
other
thank
platform, bro.
Thank you. That went straight into my heart.
And I meant
Ow.
it. But you can edit it if you decide later that you don't like it. You can feel free to edit it. I was gonna say I've seen very like the big league YouTubers doing it. To me, I find that to be the interesting difference between this particular situation and perhaps past ones. At least the circles that I pay attention to don't typically fall into that trend, but they are with this one. So it's just for me, it just feels like a different, like it's just like a little bit more than normal. It's not a bad thing, I don't think. It's just an interesting thing.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of wondering if it was like a news options situation. You had like the stock market, GameStop bullcrap, or sexy Resident Evil lady. Which one do you choose? Probably go with the latter myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sarge might be the weird one here and be like, oh man, stock market.
Yeah, I'm way more interested in the stock market.
Because you like numbers.
Numbers are great.
Oh.
Hey, don't be ragging on numbers now.
Anyway,
I hate numbers.
There's another game. There's a game that actually, I don't know if you play it, Jared. This is a very slow segue. A game that uses numbers that Sarge and I both play.
Yeah.
That has a spin-off, right?
Magic Legends is going to be a thing.
And what is Magic Legends?
Oh, more words. One sec. Apparently, It's going to be an online action RPG that's hitting beta March 23rd.
That's right before my birthday. I'm probably not going to play it still.
Like, it looks interesting, but I'm fluctuating back and forth between just like playing Magic Arena.
Yeah.
Just because I like the game, but man, sometimes matchups are just boring or bad. It's like,
For now, I've been kind of moving on to playing Digimon trading card game with my roommate. So, but yeah, think without looking at the trailer, think Diablo, kind of a similar vibe, except for the deck building situation that they showed off.
Yeah.
Because Magic the Gathering is a trading card game first, or a collectible card game first.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know who uses CCG.
I don't like the fact they're doing that.
Yeah.
I guess it's because there's so many collector cards now that a lot of people don't even play the game. They do literally just collect cards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can basically cast spells, which are cards, in this game by equipping them or something.
Yeah, it seems like
it could be a decent game.
Yeah, it seems like they shuffle, so it kind of has a randomization factor in your spells, I guess. But that also means that you're not going to have muscle memory with your D-pad or whatever selecting those spells because it's going to be randomized.
You're gonna have to pay quite a bit of attention to the UI.
Yeah, which kind of works against the action RPG aspect. In my personal experience.
I feel like it will be less hacky slashy, more tactical.
I hope so. I mean, that would be ideal.
I mean, I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean it's good tactical.
Yeah. I would be more likely to give it a try if it was more tactical oriented, though, because there's tons of action games and action RPGs out there that I would probably play instead, if that's the shtick I'm going for. But if it's got that layer of strategy on top, then I might be in for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna wait to see what I happen to view of it once the beta comes out before I really make up my mind.
Yeah. Also, Lost Ark is coming, hopefully, sometime this year, and that's the action MMO RPG that I'm looking forward to because it looks amazing. It's got the flashy, crazy action that I enjoy in games.
What's it called? Lost Ark?
Lost Ark, yeah. So while you're searching for that on YouTube, why don't we talk about a YouTube competitor that finally shut down?
Ah.
That was probably my best one. Calling it right now. That's my best one for the whole thing. Storyfire was a YouTube competitor that was started, I believe, in 2017 by Jesse Tyler Ridgway, aka McJuggernuggets. He was known for his edgy freak out skit content. If you remember a clip of a dad running over video games with a riding lawnmower, that was a McJuggernuggets video.
Okay.
He kind of rode on the high of, I think for a while he rode on the high of it appearing so realistic. That people thought it was real.
I thought it was.
Yeah. But because of YouTube's kind of shift with advertiser-friendly content and stuff like that, like his breed of content started to become a lot less discoverable because of it. So he and his partner in crime, I can't find his name there, Brian Spitz, yeah, He was partnered with Brian Spitz, and they co-founded Storyfire, which I believe had its own monetization setup too, but not enough people moved over to the platform. Doesn't seem like it was sustainable at all. He had his full statement on it on Twitter, which is
I mean, I couldn't have told you what the platform was until Caedo literally just said what it was then.
Same.
Like, yeah.
It had a lot more, from what I understand, it had a lot more integration with social media features kind of thing. Like upvotes and hearts and emotes and comments and stuff like that.
YouTube has plenty of that though.
Yep. A lot of people did foresee this. It was like, even there's going to be a competitor that comes along with just the right idea, but just somebody and their partner, content creators, it's a very ambitious thing to try to do with something as big as YouTube / Google. Props for trying. I need to state that. Major props for trying, but it's pretty steep incline, uphill battle.
Yeah.
Almost straight up. So, but yeah, it was like, but it was also a small blip on like things that were announced when the whole ad-friendly thing was going on around 2017, where a lot of people were just quitting YouTube or like, I'm going to Twitch or that kind of stuff. And McJuggernuggets was like, no, we're making our own kind of thing. Do you guys remember VidMe? That was another one. Or vid.me.
That just sounds like a dodgy site to like download movies illegally.
It super was too.
It does.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yep. There we go.
I didn't look too far into it because they were like, you get approved for monetization immediately, and I'm like, oh, they're not curating it. Or if they are, they're not automating it in any way. Kind of like YouTube does. Like some of those like really questionable ones slip through the cracks on YouTube, but certainly not as bad as it could be.
Right.
So, like, all this stuff needs to be factored into. I was able to report one, by the way. I need to like mention this to people really quick while it's fresh in my mind. So when an ad runs on a video that you don't like or that seems to be against terms of use or terms of service, like I got the that weird manga stepmom type ad.
Oh yeah.
And like it was just all like implying like, what's she doing with that zucchini kind of thing. And dad's going to work. Like that.
What
that kind of just
what
overt.
What was the name of this manga? I'm just not gonna look it up right now. I'm just curious. No, I'm kidding.
But you can't report it. You can like thumbs up and thumbs down it if it's like the first time appearing on your video, but you can't like straight up report it that way. You actually have to go to the sidebar where the small banner is showing and click the little eye like info icon on that to be able to report it. And it took me a while to find, but I wanted to report it because it was just so incredibly blatant. And they're trying to be clever, but it's so ridiculous.
I remember hearing about some advertisements with some pretty explicit content, but they had like a filter over the video that somehow confused the automatic detection or something. Do you guys ever remember hearing about that?
No, but I can imagine.
I never had it happen to me, but I've heard about it. I couldn't give you any more details. I think it's just like some sort of like crisscrossed or checkered, some weird like filter over it. I don't know.
Oh, weird.
It's just like you said though, they're trying to be sneaky.
Yeah, they're trying to be clever about it. Because like if nothing actually suggestive is shown, then it like gets through. Which it wasn't. It was just showing slides of like a dude leaving the house and mom like holding on to a vegetable. Like, but, like
I mean, this all seems completely innocent to me. I don't even know Why are you commenting on it, Caedo? This is
Well,
clearly just a story about going vegetable shopping.
Yeah.
Perfectly
All
fine
right.
to be advertised.
fair enough. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong to report it. Oopsie. Now I'm gonna get a strike on my channel for improperly reporting an ad.
You got something against vegetarians?
I do.
Oh,
Oh, dang. The war has just begun.
They need some jerky in their life. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, damn.
They can eat whatever they want.
We're just kidding,
If
guys.
that's just plant matter, whatever.
We're just kidding. It's a joke. Ha, ha, ha.
Yay, derailing.
We're doing that a lot. I think it's great.
Yeah. Here's something that's a bit off the rails.
yeah.
The man playing Roland in the Borderlands movie.
Uh-huh.
Hey Sarge. Who's playing Roland in the Borderlands movie?
Kevin Hart. Which, why? Like, to be fair, I've only seen him in comedy roles.
Mm-hmm.
And being like a bit of a goofball character. So maybe he'll pull off the character of Roland really well. This big, commanding street man in a world of all crazy stuff. Maybe he's the perfect person for that. The little, short, jokey guy.
Yeah.
But it seems... I mean, not a typecast, I guess. To an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the fact he's been in other movie tying into other things stuffs, I suppose, but it's just a weird choice. Like,
When you've got, like...
If they get Dwayne Johnson for Brick, I'm gonna lose it.
I mean, that I could accept a tiny bit more. I've seen The Rock's acting range, and he's got some acting range that I'm aware of, but Kevin Hart just doesn't... He's very much a comedic actor.
I
And
know
I'm
he has
sure
it, but
he's
they
fine with
they
that,
have this
but-
funny, like, stupid rivalry, like actor rivalry that they
Yeah.
play off of all the time, and it annoys me. So I don't want to see that in the movie.
This is going to be Jumanji Borderlands edition.
Yeah.
To be fair, if he could pull it off,
The
though,
board
I
in
mean-
Borderlands is spelled B-O-A-R-D.
Oh.
That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a Borderlands board game.
It's just going to be set in a bookstore. Does anyone remember Borders? That was a bookstore.
no.
That was a bookstore. I don't think it's still around. But,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's an actor. If he can pull it off, I've seen some
Yeah.
actors pull off some
Yeah.
completely
might be good.
outside their characters or typical, typecasted roles, pull off some really good stuff. So,
Maybe
please,
he can do it.
please
It's
do a good
just-
job. Who
It just feels like a strange choice.
who would you choose, Sarge, to fill that role if you could? Do you have any candidates? I have one.
I don't have one straight away. I don't know enough, like, famous actors, I guess, that would fit the role.
If I had to choose,
Yeah.
Idris Elba.
I was just thinking of him too.
Yeah,
I
that could work.
I think I really like him as an actor. To be fair, I haven't seen him in that much. I can think of, like, the first time I saw him, I think, was 28 Weeks Later, freaking General or something like that. But have either of you ever seen the show Luther,
Oh wait,
where he's a?
no, I haven't.
I mean, it takes place in your turf, Sarge. He's an English detective, serial killer detective. It's so freaking good. It's such a good show, and he's such a badass. I think he'd be a good fit for that. That's just me, though.
I think I would try to go for Denzel Washington because he's super good at dark serious.
Yeah.
Kind of
And-
old, though, isn't he?
Here's the thing. I'm thinking younger, and I've given it a Google, and I've got Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan as, like, potentials.
Well, Chadwick Boseman's not alive anymore.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he would have been a good pick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I missed that man. Who was the other one?
Quite a shame.
That came up?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, he was in like Creed and Black Panther as well. And he's got decent range. I've seen him in quite a few things.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be somewhat stoic.
Yeah.
I could see that actually.
Mhm.
Oh, although I did actually watch a movie recently. God, what was it? Outside the Wire. I watched Outside the Wire, which had Anthony Mackie as like a cyborgy person, and he did the character really good justice for what they wrote down. And I feel like the kind of stoicism he gives at points in that performance could be good for Roland.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold out for Kevin. I think he's got it in him, man.
Hopefully he'll do a good job, and we'll look like idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be more than happy.
For a second.
I'd be more than
He's the
happy to
second-
look like an idiot for this.
We should mention, too, for those who aren't clicking on the links, that he is the second person announced as a role. Kate Blanchett is set to play Lilith. So.
Wait, no, she isn't. Is she?
I think that
Oh,
is.
God,
to
because
star.
they were making Lilith a villain or something, weren't they?
Are they?
What?
I thought that was what they were doing. Because
No.
Kate Blanchett was playing the antagonist, I thought. And my immediate mind jumped to Commander What's-Her-Face. But I swear I remember them saying something about, oh no, is that as Legendary Thief Lilith? Yeah, she's playing Lilith?
Yes.
I think so.
That seems a bit odd to me as well. Like, not as much as Kevin Hart, but...
It could work.
Man. Yeah. It's just the choices don't... They're
don't
not what you'd expect.
They're not the same characters from the video game.
Yeah.
How dare they?
This feels more and more like they're just going, okay, we'll take the names, maybe the scenery, and just make something completely different.
Just be trying to break ground here with big actors and getting in video game movies, so it can generally just raise the quality of them. Hopefully, or it could just backfire and they won't take it seriously.
Has that ever happened, though?
We've had big actors in video game movies. It
I
by no means guarantees anything good.
I still am waiting on the Monster Hunter movie on digital, and it's not there yet, and I want to watch it and drink.
I've seen that Assassin's Creed movie has come to Netflix, and at some point I'm just going to have to watch that and see it firsthand.
I wanted it. I haven't seen it, so I can't really judge it. And I like, what's his name? Who's in it?
Yeah, the dude.
Fender Bender?
The dude.
Yeah, the dude. You know that dude. I know exactly who it is, but I can't remember his name for the life of me. Yes.
Something Fassbender. I can't remember his first name. But
Michael, I think.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender. Yeah.
He's a good
Monster
actor.
Hunter.
I've seen him in lots of stuff, but yeah.
Monster Hunter movie is still on pre-order for some reason.
I don't know. It's always so up in the air when you get a video game, or let's be honest, any kind of adaptation, whether it's a video game or even books. Anything you take from one medium and try to convert it over to the other, I just.
I mean, throwing it into live action is always a bit of a bigger problem as well, because things are gonna look inherently different.
Yeah. I'm still mad about World War Z. Sorry.
That's
all I think is...
Perfect segue. Where was he? Someone, please, we don't have memes on the PIPCAST very often, but can someone make a meme of me doing a perfect segue and then it just is Caedo charging and screaming World War Z? I want to see that in meme
mad about it. I'm sorry. I was brooding. Please go back into your segue.
Tomb Raider's getting an anime on Netflix. Who cares? It's gonna be terrible anyway.
They already tried it with movies. Yeah. Angelina Jolie got the furthest.
Yeah, those were fun action movies, I guess. Like, I wouldn't class them as necessarily bad. They were, which,
Alright.
yeah, there was some fun scenes in them and stuff. And
I think anybody likes the excuse to look at Angelina too, so. you know,
Yeah.
there's also that.
See, I was actually going to mark that as a negative trait because I feel like they respected the character very well otherwise, but they went a bit over whatever on that front. But
are you kidding me? I'm a gamer. I go on Reddit.
Anyway, this Netflix thingy, we've got a little article from PC Gamer that talks about how like there have been fairly successful ones, like Dragon's Dogma. I still need to watch at some point. Castlevania gets rave reviews. And apparently it's being written and produced by Tasha How? I don't know how to pronounce the last name, I'm afraid. Who's been working as a writer on The Witcher Blood Origins.
What?
Which I only learned about its existence yesterday, is going to be like a prequel to The Witcher Netflix series.
Dude,
which is
set like
awesome.
1200 years earlier.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's like a real far back. Like, I think it's 1200 years before Geralt.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's like real early witches who aren't around in the world anymore.
Ooh.
Would you guys say you think it's easier for games to take the leap to an animated versus live action? Like, is that is that an easier transition? I feel like
well, you've got less of a disconnect because you can make the characters look how people expect them to look to an extent.
Yeah.
When you're doing it live action, it's always going to look wrong. Even when things look real similar, there's just an inherent nature of, oh, that's different. Like, even the Netflix live action series of The Witcher, things did look different, noticeably, and there's, like, no way to get around it. They did a good job of making it clear, oh, this character looks like a really good cosplay of this character, but they're just not the same.
Yeah.
Put it in anime, and you can just... Obviously, it's not just copy and pasting assets or whatever, but you can make it real similar, and then there's one less barrier to entry.
I agree. I think it's one of those situations where, like, we all want a really good live action, but
I don't.
But all the reasons you just said, like, it's just really difficult.
Yeah.
So, like, even though we want that, what we really need is the animated stuff, because that's gonna get people what they want more than a live action version that'll just disappoint them.
I'm trying to think of what I would want in an actual live action, either show or movie. I already mentioned Devil May Cry.
I wouldn't want it to be an adaptation of, like... Yeah, I just straight up don't think adaptations of already visual media products work when they're going from computer generated to live action.
Yeah.
What about the wonderful occasion where it's a animated show going to live action?
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
a train
that doesn't
wreck.
work either. It's the exact same problem.
Dragon Ball movie.
Man, I ain't watched that before I saw any Dragon Ball stuff.
It's so bad.
It was such a weird movie.
and the Avatar: Last Airbender movie, also the live action one. It's terrible.
Man.
You ever try to mash multiple seasons of a show into a movie? There you go. It's a wreck.
Maybe crazy idea I'm just gonna put out there.
Might have
Maybe
been one
people
season.
should try and make ideas based around like original concepts.
Maybe.
What?
Yeah.
How dare
Same,
you?
but
I don't believe it.
there's very few good entertainment products out there that I feel were based off of something else. Like, they tend to be big news because they actually do well. Like, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and stuff, I feel are much more the exception rather than the rule. And that's even going from book to live action, which I'd say is the easiest of the transitions.
Yeah.
It depends on who you ask, because there's a lot of people that read books that are very visual in their minds, and they have like a way that they expect characters to look and behave. Very similar in the way, like, from a video game to movies, that I think is difficult for some people to cope with.
It's
So
not as big a one, though.
yeah, I agree.
There's a lot more range for interpretation.
There's wiggle room for
Yeah.
creativity. Like, you only get so much description of a character unless you're going through pages. Like, isn't that what the Silmarillion does? Is just pages
Silmarillion doesn't like describe characters for 20
world
pages.
info.
It describes all the like Age of the Lamps and all of that fun stuff that we all love dearly.
Silmarillion's more like a history textbook than it is a
Shows
story.
how much I read.
But you've got to know all about Melkor. Come on, otherwise how are you going to know how Sauron was one of his lieutenants who eventually got up in power after Melkor was defeated? Come on!
Dude.
I don't... Well, now that you've told me, I don't have to read it.
You do, because you need all the extra... I haven't even said it in Elvish. I mean, come on!
Yeah.
Ah!
Hey everyone, go and read the Silmarillion. It's really, really good, and I totally have definitely finished it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The link for the next story is asking me to subscribe. I can't read the article.
No, there's free.
Oh, really?
There's a free version. On the left-hand side, you click free.
Where? What?
Oh, does it not say free for you?
No.
Okay, I will share my screen if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any issues. Oh.
There's the article.
Nice.
I only chose this one because there's a bit in here that kind of breaks down the how short selling of stocks works.
We gotta segue to it first.
I know.
I'll let Sarge do it because I ruined it so many times.
Hey guys, do you know what I was gonna become before I ended up becoming a YouTuber?
What's that, Sarge?
I was gonna become a financial advisor.
Wow.
And it just so happens that something adjacent to that has happened in the adjacent to gaming world. So many adjacents.
Wow,
So
is
you're
that a
going
technical term, Sarge?
Oh, that's what you'd normally have to pay 60 quid per hour-long session for. But, you know, I'm giving out this info for free because I'm a nice guy.
So generous.
And
sorry,
you're going to advise people how to throw away their money, I assume.
Right now, I'd advise everyone to just monitor the situation. Keep a hold of what stock you've got for the time being, because people aren't just straight up selling it, even with apps like Robinhood kind of really being what I'm not allowed to say on the PIPCAST about it all. People are still holding, which kind of goes against what you normally see. And I feel like this is a situation where getting advice from professionals probably isn't the best thing, because it's going against everything that normally happens in the financial sector.
Yeah.
Like, the reason this is news that we're talking about is that it is just... The stock market's broken, and it turns out it was really easy to break. All it took was not doing exactly what it expected.
It was easy to prove that it was broken if just enough people on Reddit got organized.
Yeah.
which is a crazy sentence in of itself.
Yeah.
So, just in case anyone didn't know, tons and tons of stock of, well, various places that were worth basically nothing were bought by, what was the name of the Reddit? wallstreetbets.
Yep.
It's a subreddit which basically helps with stock management for random internet people. And there's apps
It's
nowadays...
more gambling, but yeah.
That's what stocks are.
Well,
Just straight up.
the
There
sport
isn't
of
a
it,
difference.
more so than... At least that's what it seems like.
People talk about their stories and try and help each other out a little bit still. There's still
Okay.
advice. You get that in gambling anyway. Haven't you guys ever gambled all your money away? Come on. Normal
Yes.
stuff.
Probably because I didn't have an advice.
I, a fun fact, have only ever made profit from gambling. Profit or
nice.
break even. I've
You
never
don't
gambled
say.
large, because obviously saying that is like the perfect thing to then go, let's just put all my money in this and then it crash. But I've got lucky with my small things. But that doesn't mean you will. You'll probably lose, listener, so don't gamble all your money away.
Oh,
But
I
yeah.
definitely will.
Yeah.
I don't gamble because I always lose when I do.
Okay. Tons of people, just normal people, were investing whatever they could in various cheap budget stocks that were on their way down and looked to have no recovery because the actual thing they were representing in the market didn't have much value. The key figure piece for all of this was Gamestop, which I think we've talked about several times about how it's like dying and going broke and everything shutting down. So obviously the stock prices were really low, and this meant you get a bunch of short sellers who will borrow the stock from, I don't even know what the name of the thing is, but they basically borrow a small amount of stock. They then sell said stock straight away. Say it's like $30 a share. They'll sell it. Then like a short amount of time later, it will have dropped down to say $25 a share. They'll buy an excess of that and then give back the stock that they originally borrowed, and then they'll have a bit of a profit because they've got some shares left over, which they spent the same amount of money on. And that's how the short selling normally works. And this obviously isn't done with like 10 stocks or whatever. It's normally done with ludicrous amounts of money. Ludicrous amounts. So there's all these companies, all these short sellers, relying on the stock getting worse so they can then make a profit and just give back what they borrowed, and then have a bunch of extra spare. Problem is, when that stock goes up, they can't then buy it and make a profit. They'll make a loss if they buy it. And they're always used to it being fine, because stuff like this doesn't normally happen, because you can generally work out if a company's, like, dead in the water. Sure, there's volatile companies here and there, but nothing like this, where, GameStop shares went from, like, I think it was $20-$30 or something when, like, they were doing alright, up to, like, $325 a share.
Yeah, I was seeing, like, 350s. It's outrageous.
It's crazy how much they went up. So now all these regular people who invested in a company that is worthless, to be fair, like, GameStop is not worth as much money as its stocks now are.
Yeah.
But a bunch of, like, regular people just invested in this garbage company, basically, and have made tons of money back because their shares are now worth so much more. However, a bunch of brokers, who are the people you go to in order to buy stocks from, because you can't just buy them directly yourself most of the time, but brokers like Robinhood, who was very famous for let the people trade, they then stopped allowing people to buy any stocks, which is like, oh, okay, maybe not let the people trade. Because everything was kind of going chaotic, they just stopped it. And I think they've just started letting people buy, like, a few shares here and there, but it's like, oh, you can buy 5 GameStop or GameStop stock instead of, like, as much as you want, basically. And they're really limiting it and trying to, like, push people to sell. There's even been reports of them, like, force selling certain options, which is, like, real bad. So there's now legal action being looked into for it.
Yep. The what is it, market manipulation or something like that? I don't remember
I know there's, like, a class action
around.
suit going on.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly what's being broken, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, clearly you shouldn't just be allowed to do this. They're literally, like, messing around with people's money, and it's like, this shouldn't be a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm now actually scrolling through this article for the first time. Look at all the stuff there. I already knew this, though, because I legit was going to be a financial person, and this is the kind of stuff I needed to know. Yeah, so...
I'm glad you're here to talk about this.
I'm glad this happens. I like stuff like this.
Yeah.
Although, man, it's... Yeah, okay. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announced in a tweet Friday that he was launching an investigation into Robinhood, Discord, and hedge funds he accused of rigging the free market to benefit Wall Street. Now, the Discord one I don't think is going to hold any weight, because they weren't actually messing around with, like, any people's money and stuff as far as I can tell, because it's Discord. They're not a broker. They temporarily, I think, shut down the Wall Street's Bet Discord server because it was having trouble moderating. And even the people on the server were, like, just completely swamped, because this has obviously become big news when it was more of a niche thing, like, just a couple of weeks ago. And people were getting around, like, bad word blocks, and it was becoming just a toxic cesspile, because there's lots of terrible people out there. And that's more what's happened there, so I'm not sure on the whole Discord actually getting accused for breaking the free market seems a little unfair. Robin Hood, on the other hand, 100% accurate as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be a good idea to put a disclaimer out too. Make sure you know what you're doing with your money if you're going to invest in shares.
Yeah, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah, that's extremely important.
Yeah.
It is gambling. As
You have to be willing
earlier.
to lose everything you put in. It's a risk
if you're
that
not
exists.
doing well on money, do not spend it on stock. That's what we're kind of driving at.
Do you guys have like premium bonds in the US?
You're talking to someone who's dabbled very, very little into stock and trading and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say if people do want to like invest in something that's safe, over here in the UK at least, we've got like premium bonds, which work almost like a bank account that is hard to access, but you get basically put in a lottery to win a little bit of extra money each month. That's like
cool.
It's like the safest investment you can really do over here, but still has a chance of getting like big gains. But
I'm pretty sure we have something similar. I imagine our economies are pretty comparable.
Yeah, if
in
people
that
are wanting to
regards.
go for like investing and have never done it before, it might be worth starting off with something simple and safe like that.
That's kind of the whole like purpose behind like Robinhood and other things like that. It's a good way for people to kind of get their feet wet, and it really kind of sucks to see them just like go full corruption during this thing and be like, oh no, we're just going to manipulate everything. And it's like, oh, hold on a minute, you shouldn't be able to freaking do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of disheartening.
A bunch of rich people. Yeah, it's literally a bunch of really rich people are losing money, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, we better stop doing this."
And it's kind of interesting, you know, everything that's happened with GameStop and the Reddits and the short selling and everything. It's more how these groups have responded to that is more of the sensational news than the actual of selling and buying of those stocks. Like it's crazy that was happening, but it seems to be that the attention has sort of started to lean towards like Robinhood and these lawsuits and what they're doing and how they're doing it.
But like that's the good side of it though. Like it has hit mainstream news, so like there might be something good for the everyman that actually happens.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
the everyday person needs a win.
the every human. I should say every human.
Yeah, exactly.
It is crazy just how many people just kind of went in on this and just trusted that, oh, this is just going to work out fine, and actually did. I
think there was just a lot of people with money to burn.
Yeah, like, this is not something I'd, like, ever recommend someone to, like, invest in before this time, because it can also easily just be, like, old Bitcoin pump and dump schemes, where you get a community that boosts it up, then when more people start going and they sell. The selling hasn't happened this time, though, and it's basically the same thing. I'm tingling just talking about it.
I feel like it was doing that until they started, like, locking down on people, and now in a sort of a sense, like an act of rebellion against those actions, people are not selling. So it's just kind of like this cause and effect thing going on.
Yeah, it has now become almost kind of a statement to be holding on to GameStop stocks.
And I've seen tweets like on Twitter, like just people being like, "I'm not selling, hold the line," you know, stuff like that. Seriously, like, it's just kind of it's an interesting phenomenon that's going on.
Has Hodl Gang come back?
I don't know.
It really is quite a crazy thing. But is there anything else you guys want to talk about on that one? Because I feel like we've given a decent coverage.
I think we gave.
I'm not gonna spend $300 on GameStop stock.
Oh, you're gonna buy what? 0.9 of a stock, are you? I highly doubt it's gonna go up at this point, or at least go up significantly.
I'm gonna save that for my PS5.
Yeah.
That's what I would rather throw money in the garbage for.
Well, we all know that the stock market can crash and burn.
Ha!
Ha! But you know what else? Some major Fallout mods can crash and burn too.
They sure can.
Speaking of which, I think, did we talk about this mod in the last one, or was it the one before that?
Yeah, we did. It was you and me, Jared, and we talked about it in
Okay.
episode 52.
Yeah, it's the Frontier mod for Fallout. And
New Vegas.
you guys know a lot more about this than I do, so I'll just let you guys take it from there.
Sarge, you like talking about negative news?
I'm not the person who can talk about mods and stuff, though.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, what I can say is kind of the big current story on this mod is that it's been pulled temporarily because one of the people that was working on the mod posted some noncery style stuff online separate to the mod, and that kind of became a whole drama, and people looked more into the mod and were like, there's a bunch of kind of weird stuff in this as well. Like, I don't think anything in the mod was necessarily, like, illegal or really bad. It was just all a bit off, and then with the added context of this person posting, like, iffy stuff online separately, it's like, oh, well, that's a bad pattern of
It was just a
behaviour.
correlation type situation that snowballed.
Yeah.
The content we're talking about too is like overly fetishized things. Like that's mainly what's been drawing the most attention for this mod, and that's unfortunate because of the amount of extra work that's been put in just for all of the extra stuff in this mod.
Yeah.
But the of course the main attention grabber is the questionable lines of adult content that continue to be crossed in this mod, or that were crossed, I guess.
Yeah, and now they're actually getting rid of a bunch of the content that was in the mod that was made by this person and that was kind of a bit odd, or just any stuff that was a bit too dark or too iffy.
Yeah. I haven't been following it too closely, though, because the person that was basically in trouble was one that did a whole bunch of the UI assets and stuff like that, too, which they have to pull all of also. So they're going to have to do a lot of extra work in his stead, if they even want to, because it sounds like the head of the team already stepped down. So
Well, at this point, it's just like got a bad name attached to it, and I doubt anyone's gonna want to cover this and be like, oh, look at how great this mod has turned out. Because there's all of the already bad stuff seated in people's mind for it.
yeah.
It's like, why, like, all of us, I think, as content creators, I think even if we played this mod and found a bunch of stuff we liked in it,
We already know
It's
the
not-
association. It's permanently ruined it.
yeah, it's career
In some way.
suicide to cover it positively.
Yeah.
And I feel like just salvaging it might be too much. Hopefully, well, here's the big thing, I think, is what was going on, like, within the management of the mod behind the scenes. Because that's the weirdest part to me. Best case scenario, there's a lot of good people working on this who were just way too open and didn't do any background checks or any, like, follow-up whatsoever on anyone that they let work on things. And we're just like, oh, you wanna work on stuff with us? Yeah, come straight on in. I think that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is they just kind of turned a blind eye to people on the team that were maybe doing stuff that wasn't so good.
You do have to think about what this is, too. It is a mod overhaul on Nexus mods. And there is a lot of adult mods in Nexus mods, too. And
Yeah.
after so many years of that being existing, like almost a decade, if not already a decade, like there has been so many lines crossed up until this point that we probably don't even know about. And the Nexus community is fine with it, but the rest of the Fallout community and gaming is not.
Yeah.
And of course there's stuff that is I'm not trying to be an apologist here, by the way. Like, I shouldn't have even opened my mouth. there is stuff that is just not okay in any context whatsoever, and there are those people that do push the envelope that are added to mod teams. So like maybe they argued regularly about this thing and they just like caved and they were like, fine, whatever, kind of thing. It could have been something like that. But for the amount of work in some of these, like like sex slave companion who's just turned 18 and you're allowed to have a foot fetish with, I think it's a little far.
There's some weird stuff there.
I think it's a bit far.
Like, especially seeing as like some of the
and very
stuff
niche,
that popped
I might
up,
add.
Yeah, some of the pre-release stuff that popped up was like nothing to do with that. It was like screen grabs of what looked like interesting quests. Was this the one with the car as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The incredible
there
car
was-
mechanics.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff which actually looked like, oh, that's kind of cool and interesting. And then there was just this whole extra heaping of, no, I don't want that in the mod, please, just thrown in as well.
Yeah.
Which, not good.
But it did snowball. I mentioned this before we recorded that the ESRB exists for a reason, or whatever rating board your region has for games for this type of stuff. But it's the Wild West in the modding community, and there can be some really weird stuff that ends up in your mod when you're playing it, which this is an unfortunate example of that. And it's disappointing that it had to be a mod that was 7 years in the making.
If I was the rest of the team and I didn't know about this, I would be pissed.
I wonder, like, how do they not do this? I'm at the point now where before I even talk to, like, another content creator or something, I'm doing, like, full background checks on everything they've got public. And this person on their team wasn't exactly, from the sounds of it, hiding what dodgy stuff they were doing online. It was all, like, linked to the same username and everything. And wasn't much more than 5 minutes Googling to find, from what it sounds like. So, the people on the team should, at the very least, have double-checked, who are we working with? Have they done anything absolutely terrible? And 9 times out of 10 it'll be, oh no, of course not. They're just a person. Cool. That 5 minutes of Googling just clarifies that, but at best they just didn't do that. Which is, it's either incompetency or just letting bad things go. Which
And
is
I think
negligence.
it might be more that, like, just ignoring a red flag, a very blatant red flag, because they needed somebody to create certain assets, and you know how many people are going to volunteer that much time.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really sucks. Because now it's tainted for me too. If I ever get to play it again, it's always going to be in the back of my mind that, oh, there was freaks doing this too. Cool, good.
Yep.
And it's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
Not the easiest listening to, so we should probably just keep going. The potential for Fallout New Vegas and what else can happen. We're moving on to our Fallout topic.
yep.
So lots of people like to talk about, especially when the Microsoft Bethesda acquisition happened. New Vegas 2, what's going to happen? New Vegas 2, I want Obsidian, New Vegas 2. Word for word, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So our topic is, what would New Vegas 2 be for you? And I expect to see at least a couple of comments about it, because people are clamoring for something that's not likely to happen.
Oh.
I'm gonna open up on the sad and depressing thing.
Yes.
And then let you two round it out with the more creative, fun stuff.
Yes.
New Vegas 2 will be a disappointment if it ever comes out, and will make so many fans turn against Obsidian for no good reason. Even if Obsidian aren't the ones who do it, I reckon. I think there'll be dumb backlash, where people just associate... Because here's the thing, New Vegas 2, in and of itself, has zero, like, bonuses to necessarily being good. Like, the actual setting of Fallout New Vegas is okay. It's fine, it's kind of interesting, but it wasn't what made the game quite so good. It was a lot of the characters, the writing, how intricate everything plays together. None of that stuff is necessarily attached to a sequel.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's kind of like the Half-Life 3 dilemma, where things are way too hyped up and overrated, and it will never live up to expectations, and because expectations are so high, that only gives it the chance to fail. And Fallout fans, boy oh boy, can we be very loud and angry when things do not work out exactly how we like them to be.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I think New Vegas 2 should never be made for the sake of all the people that enjoy New Vegas. Personally, I'm gonna really go for the hate comments this time. Personally, I would like it to come out and be alright as a game, kind of like the Outer Worlds was and whatever, just in the hope that it would shut up the people who praise New Vegas endlessly, just non-stop, and claim that Obsidian should be making every Fallout game forever. Just because I would, at this point, I'd like to see them just be quiet for a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good reason.
Yep.
That's a plenty good reason. Jared,
Yo.
what's your ideal New Vegas 2?
Well, after I finished drinking myself into a stupor after that last bit of negativity, no, I'm kidding. I really, personally, I don't really have any specific, like, I'm having a hard time even remembering everything in New Vegas. It's been so long since I've played it, but I can tell you what I would like to see, not only in if there was a New Vegas 2, but in every Fallout game to come. I want more lever action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my favorite guns were like the cowboy rifles and stuff like that. And lever action, if you've ever had the opportunity or get the opportunity to actually fire a lever action like rifle, it's so freaking cool. So lever action, hell yeah. 2, we've talked about it, and I think it was the topic last PIPCAST about mounts. Did we talk about mounts in the last PIPCAST?
Yeah, we did.
I would like to see like a horse mount type of a thing situation, because it's all about this whole like Western motif thing going on. You can't have a good Western without a good horse. Red Dead Redemption will tell you that. So yeah, I would like to see some sort of like mounted, more wilderness. But how much wilderness can you get in Nevada? I don't know. I've never been to Nevada outside of Vegas, so I don't know what it's like.
Even want the sequel to be like necessarily in New Vegas.
Well, with the name, I feel like it kind of has to be.
That could be a working
Fallout
title.
New Vegas 2,
like
set in Florida.
Does it have to be New Vegas?
I mean, it's literally tied to the name.
Okay.
Well, what if it was ironic, like New Vegas 2 is actually Reno, which is like Little Vegas.
I suppose if they do like a kind of New Vegas style thing, that can kind of work, but it will still be kind of weird.
Well, we've already decided it's going to be horrible, so might as well go all the way.
I've decided it will be horrible. You guys are allowed to be happy about it.
I'll be indifferent, I guess. So Dakoba toys around with the title Newer Vegas, which I think is a better title than New Vegas 2, at least. I kind of wonder if there were to be a sequel, would it be sequential? So, like, right after the events of whatever happens at the Hoover Dam?
Mm-hmm.
Or would it be like a prequel before the Courier exists in the area?
Yeah.
Because I could do either one.
I think a prequel would probably be the most likely to succeed, honestly.
Because at the end of New Vegas, everything kind of comes to a close. At least that's what was intended, at the second Battle of Hoover Dam. You're just like, well, this is the climax of the story. We're done.
Yeah.
These are the people that have taken over Vegas. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like, how much of a prequel? Like, how far back do you think would make sense? knowing the
I would
history
think
and the lore of that region and within
it can
that
even
universe.
be like pre-shot in the head courier too, like
Okay.
whatever they're doing prior. But I think because they are in the Nevada area still,
Mm-hmm.
because when you go to the Savage Divide or the Divide, Savage Divide, when you go to the Divide in New Vegas, like you, the courier, were responsible for that whole situation.
Yeah.
So that says that like all of that history that you made, like it could be even kind of based around that, like that one mission that just messed up everything, and like you lost your memory or something after getting shot in the head. Like this could be those memories beforehand.
Korea origin story.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I will say, I'd hate that personally.
Really?
I wouldn't want the Korea's origin story to be any more than it already is.
I mean, it's
Probably
exposited all over you with monotone Ulysses, so...
Yeah, but it's still so vague as to what actually happened. You went somewhere and delivered a package. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Sure, he says it in a cool voice, but that still allows so much open for interpretation for how you want your character to be. If you get to play as that character again in a prequel to the game, then it's locking in more of the choices of what actually happened. You lose a lot of the creative freedoms that come with the courier, who, in my mind, is like the most open backstory character in any Fallout game.
They are.
Which is the thing I like most about New Vegas.
I mean...
It's like the one point where I'm like, yeah, I prefer this to all of the other
But here's
Fallout
the thing,
games.
character creation happens after you get shot in the head. It could have knocked some things loose and knocked some things in when it comes to
it don't-
skills.
I'm not talking skills, though. I'm talking about what the character actually did, like role-playing,
Character
backstory.
backstory. Okay.
Actually creating a person rather than a set of numbers.
What's a person?
They're the dumb things I have to deal with sometimes. God, I hate them. No, but I wouldn't mind it being at the same time as all that was going on if you were playing as a different character, though. And I feel like something else I would also hate, but which I feel like is something they would do, judging by how these games work, is you could have the Divide being nuked as like the end point, and then your character gets to die in nuclear fire.
That'd be kind of cool.
I'd hate it, but I could.
So
see
I
it
mean,
happening.
New Vegas is already a spin-off, so I wonder, like, would New Vegas 2 would that be a spin-off of a spin-off? Because we could do all kinds of fun, crazy stuff with that. Like we could play as Ulysses,
Oh god.
just on his way to Nevada with the Legion, and what happens to his tribe and stuff like that.
Or, bear with me, New Vegas 2 prequel, you play as House, the man himself.
Pre-war.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
you
whole
could do, like,
sequence is just running down hallways to get to the pod to preserve himself.
the game could be VR, and you're just sat in Mr. House's thing and selecting lots of options and whatever.
Yeah. Air conditioning levels.
And the
mean,
game
it's the-
lasts 200 years until the courier
Full
shows
time.
up, and then you finally get dialogue.
Yeah. The courier shows up, doesn't actually say anything to you, just smashes your head in with a golf club. Game over. You won. Congratulations.
Platinum already.
Awesome.
But kind of, not really along the lines, but like, if you were to do a prequel, why not go back to when Vegas was being kind of built up? Because it had to start, from somewhere, from the ashes, and someone had to come along and be like, oh, I'm going to rebuild this place, and we're gonna make it bigger and better than it ever was before, and I don't know, I think there could be something in that. Again, it's an
Having
origin
seen,
story,
like-
but of a city, not of a person. But
Well, you'd be seeing the tribal gangs become,
Yeah.
indoctrinated to the whole New Vegas lifestyle.
that'd be cool, right?
So it'd be the cons from Vault 15. It would be the gamblers from Vault 21. Would it be
have it
some
be like
dwellers
a-
from Vault 3, or were
like
they all
a-
just killed by the fiends?
Like a Mad Max vibe to it, Still a lot of wild desert and
Yeah.
crazy people eating each other. Stuff like that.
making all those drugs.
Yeah. Drugs and cannibalism. We can still do that in games, right?
Yeah.
Woo.
That's
Fine.
those are fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Fallout without freaking drugs and cannibalism, though? I mean, come on.
I mean, to be fair, I normally play Fallout without drugs and cannibalism.
Yeah.
It's still very good.
That's true. That's true.
I use chems all the time in Fallout now.
Yep.
All the time.
I sell them.
Yeah, they are good for making cash.
Especially early on, it's like, ooh.
Man, Fallout 4, just getting fertilizer going, you're like, boom, I'm rich.
Pretty much. A minor off-topic thing. The drug dispenser machines that you get from becoming Overboss in Nuka World, I just had a whole upstairs balcony full of those. So it was just giving me all kinds of chems all the time.
I don't think I ever played much of a game after Nuka World to really get to benefit out of any of the bonuses.
Oh, man.
I restart games too much. It's a problem.
I think, well, it was during my actual playthrough, the 2-timer playthrough, where I think I totally skipped all the other DLCs except for Nuka World because it came out as I was doing the playthrough.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm going to switch gears. Let's go to Nuka World. And then we did that. So that was fun.
I think Nuka World is actually the only bit that I never really played. It came out so much later that I'd moved on to other things, other games and stuff. So
yeah, it was like 8 months, 7 months, or quite a while later, almost a year. I want to say.
I only got to start playing Fallout 4 around the time Automaton came out, so it wasn't much of a wait for me.
To think of it, I'm not sure I've delved much into the DLCs of Fallout 4 that much at all.
I'd say then it's worth going back and being one of the things you play.
Oh my god.
August 15th, 2016. Yeah, almost a full year. 9 months-ish? Yeah. It's a while.
Yeah.
But back to newer Vegas. I do like the idea of like a pre-war segment, kind of like Fallout 4, like maybe the tutorial segment being you as Mr. House.
Oh.
And then there would be some sort of situation where you would actually create your character as Mr. House.
Oh.
Like all the different technologies and computers and stuff you have access to. And then it would be, a similar sequence to, the bombs happening, but then Mr. House sealing himself away and him being the sole savior of Vegas because he had a missile defense system.
Right. And your character could be like enlisted by him to rebuild New Vegas from the ashes.
Your character could be a Vault 21 resident.
Yeah. Or that.
Could be a vault dweller.
So many things could be done. Origin stories, man.
Or you could choose. I think that would be a cool new situation where you could choose your start, kind of like how Cyberpunk attempted.
Yeah.
And oversold. Try like the multiple vaults in the area. You have Vault 34, which is 34, I think, which was the one that had the serious radioactive waste leak, or the reactor leak. Some people did make it out of that.
I actually like that idea. I feel like one of the things that's been missing from especially Fallout games is the concept of being the character and making your character whatever you want it to be versus what the developers have decided your character is. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're not just a blank slate. You are, whatever the character's name is. I can't even remember, like Fallout 4. Like, you are that character. You have a wife and you have a kid, and this is your story, and this is who you are, and now you get to play that character versus you're just some person. Now create your own backstory and your own, everything, because that hasn't already been developed by the developer. So it'd be kind of cool as part of the character creation to choose what vault you come from, and maybe that comes with benefits or negatives or whatever. Like if you're from the radioactive one, you're a freaking ghoul or something.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
Be pretty awesome too. Or your like early onset of ghoulification, like your skin's not falling off just yet, but it does as you progress through the game.
Yeah. Or you start out in a vault that's well-to-do, so you start off with like some good gear.
Yeah. That would be Vault 21. Like everybody's in suits and stuff and they're gambling all the time and all that stuff.
I think there's a lot of potential for that actually, because there's so many vaults in the maps that these games take place in.
And you could be part of the like whacked out vaults too.
Yeah.
Like
going crazy.
Vault 22 and Vault 11, I think. Are those the ones?
I couldn't tell you. I know they're there. There's some that the people
Vault
are crazy.
Vault 22 is the plant vault. Vault 11. Oops. Vault 11.
Plants.
Is the voting experiment thing with the sacrificial chamber.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe if you started off in the vault like with the voting, maybe you
were the last survivor. You shot the other two dwellers.
Yeah, maybe you start off with a bonus to like your charisma, because voting is like, you know, politicians and charisma and public speaking. So maybe that's the bonus perk.
No, your trait would be sociopath. That's
the
only way you would survive.
Or that. I mean, but I think the concept is there, like whatever vault you would start out in would determine like a bonus attribute or something that would give you the ability to essentially roleplay your character.
That would be really cool. We might be onto something. We should start our own mod project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one portion of the game too. Like, what would the conflict be even?
Oh, I mean, it could be anything. I mean, that I think that part of storytelling doesn't change much.
Fighting for, you know,
it's
the
light
wild
versus dark. It's good versus evil.
Control of Vegas, but it needs to have that as a good hook. Like
certainly,
like you have that's part of the reason why I would guess a lot of people are drawn to New Vegas is the player's conflict is very simple. This dude shot you in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then the overarching conflict is an actual war that's going to happen, which is a follow-up to the previous one on the dam, fighting for one of the most valuable resources in the wasteland. It's very simple and straightforward as a motivator.
Yeah.
But then you have like all the extra, you know, politics and dramas and loot in between. I like where it would go though. I think I would go for like I don't even know where that would be on the timeline. It would be where all the tribes and like vault dwellers are emerging and kind of fighting for their place in the Mojave Wasteland. That's before Mr. House has full control of the area.
Right.
At least of the city. Even being able to utilize areas that were underutilized in New Vegas, like was it North Vegas or something like that, or West Side? Like those are barely used locations. You go there like a couple of times and then you don't need to go there again.
Yeah. I don't
maybe
remember, honestly.
Go to that area for the Thorn and one of the NCR side quests, maybe two of them. But otherwise, you don't really need to go there. I would want to see more of that. More areas that probably would have been more developed, but kind of deteriorated over time.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
That would make sense.
There was a secret passage, too, that was cut content. You know when Benny... when Benny escapes... If you go to the tops and Benny escapes, he uses a escape tunnel that you can't go into, or that you can go into, but you can't go all the way through. And it actually ends up in Vault 21, which is, or that's what it was supposed to, where it was supposed to end up. Maybe that being re-added and used as some sort of like infiltration method to the Tops Casino. Like they have one of the tribal leaders is trying to usurp the boss or something like that. You need to help him out doing that. I don't know. That's just spitballing. I'm not a game designer. I think that would be cool. I like espionage and sneaking around and all that kind of stuff in games like this. So
Yeah, I think
I just like playing stealth games.
There's enough lore that there could be plenty of tie-ins.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that would be too difficult to achieve.
I would want to make fans mad too by adding Jet. I would explicitly do that on purpose.
Yes.
But call it something else.
Yes. Call it Jet, but spell it with a G. Call it Get.
Get.
Or still call it Jet, but it'd be like the GIF thing, but a Fallout.
Jeet.
Jeet.
Oh.
That'd be amazing. Oh, and also, like, instead of kid in a fridge, it would be just like a whole bunch of people in a walk-in freezer.
Oh.
And they'd all come out ghoulified.
Nice.
You'd be like, how'd you live in there? They'd be like, well, we didn't eat each other. I don't know. It's stupid. I want some stupid in there too.
Oh yeah. There has to be.
Either community related, like anything that triggers the community so readily. Mm-hmm. I would want to be as a joke.
Oh yeah.
In the game in some way.
Like very blatantly and obviously.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a little chunk of obsidian up on like a giant pedestal somewhere.
Oh, dude, that's perfect.
Just being worshipped by like tons of people.
Yeah. You could have like an underground civilization that worships this chunk of that's freaking brilliant.
Yeah. Like be one of the tribes that got wiped out.
In fact, I think if there's someone who mods is listening, they should make that a mod for current New Vegas. Just because I want to see that now.
That's hilarious. You got to make it for every other Fallout game though too.
Yeah, every single game that
all
comes
of them
out has to have the Order of the Obsidian. Or the Obsidian Order.
Yes. Where'd you guys even get this? I don't know.
Everyone seems to love it though.
That's all I have. I'm plumb out of ideas now.
Yeah, I think we've well traversed this topic. I mean,
just like we've well traversed the Mojave Wasteland.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the courier has traversed the sands of the Mojave, we have traversed these topics.
We can go into freaking what are you doing? Playing really quick though, like we're over 2 hours.
Oh shoot! I forgot that we did that still.
What you guys been playing?
I've been playing Fallout 76. It's bad, and Neverwinter Nights. It is great.
Cool. You've talked about those games before. Seems solid.
Yep.
Jared, what you been playing?
Well, I've recently started playing Grounded again, but I've been playing it solo because I have no friends. And
Yay!
Bro, I'm right here.
I've been in the mood for survival and stuff, and I kind of zone out on it.
Yeah.
Started playing Hitman because Hitman 3 came out and everyone's raving about it, but I've never even played 1 or 2, so I have them both, so I've been playing it.
Hitman sequel, Punch Guy.
Yep. And then most recently, because it's what I do on my channel, Jarred Gaming, if you haven't heard of it, go check it out. Been playing a game called The Medium, which is the new horror game by the devs that brought us Layers of Fear and Observer, and it's really spooky and really cool at the same time.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's what I've been playing. How about you, Sarge?
Cool. Before my computer broke, I was playing Witcher 3. Haven't actually played and jumped more of it yet, because I've been getting obsessed with Total War Warhammer 2. I streamed it the other day. If you want to watch me just fanning over a game, like I tell people off for doing about New Vegas, go watch that. When I've been rendering videos, I've been playing Final Fantasy 7 again, because I've got Game Pass now. And
Nice.
7, 8, and 9 are all on Game Pass, which is amazing.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
that's why I got Game Pass. That's literally the reason why. So I was going to buy them individually, and I was like, no, Game Pass is so much cheaper. And yesterday, I will have put out an amazing Fallout 4 video, which I would love for everyone to go and watch, because I spent way too much time on it.
I'll tell you right now, it is amazing.
It's, man, just, if you've ever thought, Kellogg felt like a bit of an underused character in Fallout 4, go watch my video.
Please do.
It might very well be the best video I've ever made. And YouTube is only ever sending out, like, impressions to, like, 1% of my subscribers or something stupid at the moment, so I'm gonna be plugging it like crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Gotta make some social media clips.
There's nothing to clip, though. It's a talkie video. Oh god, it's a talkie video that requires people to pay attention. It's gonna fail!
No!
Nah, it'll be
Should've
great.
just thrown in Resident Evil lady. Just every 5 seconds.
Yeah, just put her on the thumbnail.
That was the PIPCAST 3000.
Yay, we should go.
Boom.
I
Yeah.
think we're all tired.
Yeah, we're all literally just gonna go sleep now.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you have any comments you want to leave down below, you have a chance of being the comment of the cast of the next PIPcast 2 weeks from now, 10 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. We hope that you had a wonderful time hanging out and listening to these nonsensical topics and talking about Fallout and geeking out with us. Take care of yourselves. Go to sleep.
Bye.